this block in phase 2, 100% sold. The next block, 100% sold, as well as this block. So generally, in the second phase, we are also optimistic that sales by the end of the year will be done. Yes. So welcome.
The commercial center.
Commercial center. Okay, good. Where you can see the green parts, that's where we have the commercial center. So we are planning for mini-marts, things like pharmacies, shops to serve the residents here. Where you can see the big building under construction with the green netting, that is part of the second phase, and in front of it we'll have the nursery school for the residents. Yes.
Yes. You have a kind of a dispensary or something?
Yes, that will all be in the commercial facility because it's a two-level facility. So it will also include a gym and aerobic center. We'll have a swimming pool on a similar platform as this one. All the blocks will have platforms which will be the recreational spaces. On the upper floors of this block, I think like if you look at that one, you'll be able to see the one behind us where we have the glass balustrade. Those are open terraces where you can appreciate views. You can relax if you want to have a barbecue. Yeah, so they are accessible to residents within. Now, we are very honored and we feel so proud to have this occasion. This is the Alma Phase 1 handover ceremony. It has indeed taken quite a long time, and we are happy that we have reached this milestone. Now, the Alma project is a project that took a lot of collaboration from various partners. We started with 14 landowners. We had a joint venture partner. We had 5 consultancy firms. We had the main contractor and about 10 subcontracting firms. And through that collaboration and expertise offered by all these counterparts, we were able to come up with all this. We have directly employed about 600 people and about 1,200 indirectly. So it is a very momentous occasion, and I'm even happier to report that this first phase is 100% sold. We have blocks in the second phase that are already 100% sold, and more are fast moving. Now, just to give a brief overview of the Alma, it's 477 apartments. We have a 900 square meter commercial facility. We also have a nursery school. In each block, there are 2 high-speed lifts. The blocks are going between 8 to 12 stories high. We have provided enough parking for each of the units. We have elevated playing grounds. I'm sure after this event you'll be able to take a walk and just climb up the stairs into the gardens and see what we are talking about. On the rooftops, we have recreational spaces with very good views where you can just relax. I hear people saying you can have a party if you wanted to, just a quiet party, being mindful of the residents. Yeah, so we have taken so much time to create a very comprehensive lifestyle development that caters to all your needs.
Before I start and explain a bit more, I'd like to introduce the team that has really helped. First, allow me to introduce Paul Oburu, who's been a mentor and a senior architect involved in the project as well. All the other consultants, mechanical subcon consultants, the QS, Windle, structural engineer, Waswa. Stand up, just stand up. Yes, it's your time to shine. Yes. You know what you've been through. Thank you very much. At the same time, I'd like to recognize the Contractor, which is Katik. Again, you can just stand up. I know you'll have your own moment. But thank you very much. Or as you say, Shesheni. You may have your seats. Thank you. To all our clients, it's an honor to be here. We have put blood, sweat, and tears for us to be here. And we have put the highest standards of a house that you can imagine. The houses, I'd like you to go through them, but let me mention a few things that the PM had not mentioned, the sweet things that we made sure that you have, all right? One, we have elevated gardens in every block. That means the place your child will be playing will not be interrupted by cars, okay? And the ones you're seeing are the smallest ones. The ones that are coming are even much bigger. We have 2 swimming pools interlinked with a waterfall, my friend, in Ruaka. And we are going to special lights, like the amount of things that this project will have, you don't even understand. I'd like to invite all of you, even in this block, just go to the very top floor. Look at the view you have of Nairobi. And there are no clothes being hanged there. All the clothes for the project are being done at the laundromat, which is behind us right now. So all your laundry will be done in the laundromat. We're not doing here mama kuosha nguo. So the Dubai style of architecture is what we are bringing here, and we are really honored to be part of this project. Thank you very much. I'd like to invite the MC to continue with the program.
Welcome to Alma site, and right now it's still Katik site until we hand over officially to the client. So this distinguished guests and my team and my client Cytonn team and my partnership with the consultant team and my site team, the supporting team. So all work together until today to have this handover ceremony here. So let me introduce myself. My name is Wen Gao, project manager, building of Alma site. I'm from Katik, that means China National Engineering. So we are very proud to be selected to be the main contractor to build this site. And up to now, from the teamwork, from all the parties involved, we achieved this milestone. And it's really happy to have all the guests today. And we know some of the faces is not the first day we meet, and we always meet together time to time to see the progress of the site. And actually, I'm proud here to say we achieve as what we promised. So, but now this is only phase 1, and we have phase 2 and phase 3. So we are working on the program, and actually we are very convinced to have that done in the next few months. But here I would like to say thank you to the Cytonn team, especially Miss Elizabeth. Please. Thank you for your assistance for this to achieve this milestone. And thank you for the consultant team to provide the information and the concept. And we are the one to fulfill this concept physically. And thank you for my team. We have been working day and night to achieve this milestone. Without their hard working and all the effort put by my local staffs, we will not achieve that. And thank you all for coming for today, for this ceremony, to witness this milestone. Thank you very much.
Right Honorable Raila Odinga, the Governor of Kiambu County, Honorable Ferdinand Waititu, the PS Housing, Charles Hinga, Kiambu County Commissioner Wilson Wanyanga, MP for Kiamba, Honorable Paul Koinange, other dignitaries, government officials, board members, including the chairman of the group, Professor Daniel Mugendi, esteemed clients and homeowners, media partners, my fellow Cytonn staff and colleagues, and also well-wishers, good afternoon. Thanks a lot for taking time to come to this ceremonial handover of the Alma. I would like to start by quoting a wise man who once said that individual commitment to a vision is what it takes to make a team work, to make a family work, to make a company work, to make a society work or to make civilization work, and I would even add to make a country like ours work. If there's two things I hope you'll take from my brief remarks about the Alma, is about vision and commitment. Now, our vision has been captured by Washira, the architect. We wanted to build the best apartment community that we could possibly build. Now, of course, to do that, you have to find the land. The land has to be affordable. You can't build it anywhere. That's why we couldn't build it in Kilimani or Lavington or Runda, because we couldn't afford those kinds of places. It also has to be where people will live. You can build a great development like this, but people don't want to live there, so obviously you won't go far. And you also have to build it in a place where you can sell it so that you get your money back. So that was the vision. So we started by asking, what could this location be? It's not that we came up with a vision for the apartment, then brought it to this location. The next step was, what location could we use to develop this vision? So we moved to the research team. I don't know if any member of the research team is here. Justa? Any member of the real estate research team? Okay, I can't see any, but anyway, we went to the research team and told them, this is what we want to do. Can you help us find the location? They looked at neighborhoods around Nairobi, and one thing we knew is that a regular apartment block is usually 80% occupied. Around 20% is always empty. And we found something interesting about Ruaka. It was the only location that had over 95% occupancy for apartment blocks. So it told us that there's demand for apartment blocks here. So we decided, let us try and find a place in Ruaka. Now, once we got to Ruaka, it was a little bit challenging. You couldn't find 5 acres together. So we told ourselves, to deliver a comprehensive development, we have to have 5 acres all at once. So we started asking ourselves, who could get us 5 acres in Ruaka? And it cannot be anywhere. It had to be on the left-hand side of the road if you are driving from Two Rivers towards Limuru. Why on the left-hand side of the road? It commands better rental than on the other side of the road. So we reached out to and it's not because we said so, that's what the data showed. So we wanted to be on the side that commanded the best rental income. So we reached out to Maina, who also is a board member and is a county executive for Kiambu. Maina is somewhere to my left, and asked him, Maina, can you get us 5 acres? Maina combined with a gentleman called Peter Ngede. I don't know if Peter is here today. There is Peter right at the back. Maina and Peter Ngede came together and decided that they are going to get 5 acres. Now, where we are seated or standing today used to be people's houses, used to be farms, and it was occupied by 14 individuals. Maina and Peter, over a 6-month period, talked to these individuals. Some of them came on board, like Mr. Munyui and family, as joint venture partners. Some of them said, I'll take money and move and buy somewhere else. That's how we got this 5 acres. Remember the theme of a committed team to deliver a vision. Now, once we had the 5 acres, of course, we had to raise the money. Now, this development, when done, will have cost 4.5 billion shillings. Now, the people behind the brand don't have that kind of money, but at least had the wisdom to go and get people together. Now, it might not be obvious, but there are 6,000 individual investors behind this development, primarily through a fund called Cytonn High Yield Solutions Fund, which is now going to turn to Cytonn High Yield Fund, which is actually going to be regulated by the CMA. I saw the trustee here from NBK team. That's going to be the trustee of the fund. So Cytonn High Yield Fund, together with other structured vehicles, brought together 6,000 individuals. These 6,000 individuals have contributed around 11 billion shillings into the fund, of which 4.5 billion is actually demarcated for this project. Out of that 4.5 billion from these 6,000 individuals, we've created 2,000 jobs, directly or indirectly. Those 2,000 people have then created these 500 apartments, which will host 500 families. To get the sales done, we had to rely on our sales team of 300 people, led by Edith. I don't know if Edith is around. Edith is, yeah, she's standing right at the back there. That's the lady who leads our sales force of financial advisors. If you're interested in any financial product, whether it's real estate or investments, those are the people to talk to. If you're a financial advisor, could you just stand where you are? You know yourselves. If you're interested in any of our products, those are the people. To talk to. Now, of course, you cannot rely on just one source of funding. Real estate requires a diversity of funding. As we got to the finish line, we needed to get more funding from other partners. That's when we brought SBM Bank, who committed to fund the balance of the development, 650 million. I've seen people here from SBM Bank. If you're around, if you could just stand up. Okay, they are the gentleman and the lady representing SBM Bank. Now, anything worth doing, of course, will have challenges. It's not all been a bed of roses. We're only talking about the good part of it. Now, of course, when we started, there are always naysayers. They can't raise money. We ended up raising money. When we raised, they said, oh, the rate is too high. Then we told them the difference is instead of going to the bank, you give your money to the bank and get almost nothing for it. Why don't you give it to us and we'll give you the same rate that you give to the bank? That's how we ended up raising that 11 billion shillings. Then, of course, the next challenge is, they are not regulated. We went ahead and got our regulation from both CMA and RBA. Now Cytonn is regulated by the both major developers in the market. Once we raised the money, there was a question, can they really develop real estate? They've not done it before. Now you've seen it done and it's standing. There was a time when in the social media, there was this word, the Alma is crumbling. You can see it for yourself. It's not crumbling. Then there was a question of real estate is really doing badly. Can they sell? Of course, you've seen that we've sold 100% of phase 1, and the next phase, around 3 blocks, are already 100% sold. Now, how did we do it? Again, it's from where I started. We had a vision and we had a committed team. You've seen all the people that we've talked about. You might not see them here, but it's almost 10,000 people. If you add the individuals who financed it, if you add the people who worked here, you add the people who sell it, you have 10,000 people who are behind this vision and who delivered this vision from the board, from the staff. We worked together and dealt with the challenges one at a time. Now, in all of this, nobody ever asked any person, where are you from? What is your tribe? What is your political party? What is your coalition? The only thing we asked ourselves always is what's in the best interest of the Alma and what's in the best interest of the community? What's in the best interest of the people who will live here? And are you committed to deliver the vision? So I would hope that as we celebrate the handover, we look at Alma as an inspiration, whether as an individual, whether as a team, a company, or even for our country. We hope that the project inspires you to pursue your own compelling vision, whatever it may be. The formula remains the same. You have to define and articulate the vision. You have to get people who are deeply committed to the vision, like the entire 10,000 people that I talked about, like the CATIC team here, like those who've helped us prepare for this particular event. If you can get your own 10,000, if you can articulate your own vision and really work to deliver it, it doesn't matter what the naysayers will say. It doesn't matter what the distractors will say. If your vision and your delivery speaks for itself, you will be able to deliver on it. Thank you all for joining us to celebrate this occasion. And once again, I hope the Alma inspires you to articulate your own vision and deliver on that vision. Asanteni.
To have an idea is great, but to go on and implement that idea is the ultimate achievement. Today, we are witnessing the completion of Alma project, and I can only be grateful and honored to be part of it. Shelter is a basic need, which is now among the priority areas of the Big Four agenda to provide affordable housing for all social classes. The Alma housing project has equally created an employment for the locals in the supply of construction materials and in the construction process. The completion of this project has created job opportunities and places where many can call modern homes with 477 modern 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments, which have other amenities included. This is a big step towards the realization of the mid-term plans of the Vision 2030 and the big 4 agenda pillars of affordable housing, manufacturing, job creation, which the President has dedicated his energy, time, and resources. This is part of the big 4 agenda priority areas of providing affordable housing by constructing about 500,000 affordable housing units across the country within 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, when you started the Alma back in 2016, many were skeptical with the outcome. Many wondered how a developer would achieve the promised outcome without compromising the quality to maximize the profit based on the trade of many other developers. But having keenly followed your progress with Alma, I can state that I'm more than impressed. You have instilled a belief in this county and the country at large that it is possible to provide quality living and redefine our urban existence. You have shown that we can create homes in our urban areas. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot close our eyes to what is happening in Kiambu County. The construction industry boom, though welcome, has brought about new challenges. Our urban areas are threatening our very social fabric. Our green areas are also diminishing. And as history has taught us, destroying our environment is easy, but to bring it back to the original status is also quite hard. But I'm happy that Alma has taken some steps within the estate to provide some green areas. I have taken upon myself to ensure that land use planning in Kiambu County takes center stage, and towards this end, my government is working towards the approval of Kiambu County Special Plan, which is going to be approved soon in our county assembly. The plan will be the basis of development framework, proposals, and investment within the county. I believe that in partnership with investors like Cytonn and others, our urban areas will act as an economic hubs that will provide employment to the youth population, and in the process, relieve the pressure on rural land and realize the manufacturing and industrialization agenda of job creation. I wish to point out that my government has conferred municipal status to 6 towns, among them the municipality of Karori, where the Alma project falls. On this, my government aims to upgrade existing infrastructure, among them the construction of a modern fire station capable of handling disaster within the municipality. It is also important to mention that within a kilometer, we are going to have a fire station which is under construction, and we are sure it is going to be complete by the end of this year. We have further devolved functions to the municipalities with a view of providing efficiency services. The county, in collaboration with the national government, is financing the construction of a trunk sewer line to serve the Ruaka area and its environs. This will go along in managing wastewater disposal in this area and hence conserve fragile environment. Ladies and gentlemen, effective implementation of our planning policies requires strategic interventions, and Kiambu County has automated development applications. This web-based system kicked off in January 2017 and has improved the capacity to receive and process all development applications in all the efficient and transparent manner. You are able to launch your applications at the comfort of your house. You no longer have to worry about quacks and middlemen because our system doesn't have room. Your application will never be lost or misplaced, and it takes a lot less time to process your application. And most of you get real-time updates on the progress of your application and on your phone. And I must say that we are processing domestic dwellings within 7 days. So you don't need to worry. Just make sure that you use our automated system and you will get your plans approved without any problem. Our processes, ladies and gentlemen, can only get better. But then, without your support, we cannot achieve much. Ladies and gentlemen, having Cytonn, a reputable investment company in our county, is a honor. We started with the Alma, which is now complete. Taraji Heights, the River Run, near Committee, tells what is happening in Kiambu. This tells me that you are growing and you can only go if you are doing the right thing. I want to believe that this is just the beginning of our partnership. I'm aware that the ongoing Alma development was properly done to international standards. We hope other developers will have the time to visit your site to get an insight and have a glimpse of what has been done. I'm also aware that Taraji Heights and Liveran Estates comprehensive development offering services within the gated community, but at the same time located within an area of complementary services. These are also developments by Cytonn, and that is also important to mention that we launched them about 4 months ago, and they are ongoing. So for those who will miss a house here, or for those who want to buy more than one in different areas, you can still buy another house by Cytonn on the other side near the forest. Yeah, that is true. It is near Committee and Karura Forest on the other side. Kiambu County is currently one of the best places to invest in real estate due to its convenient location. With the rise of the middle income population in Kenya, your undertaking is timely and will definitely bridge this gap. As a county, we will endeavor to provide you with the best investment environment possibly including but not limited to proper planning interventions and infrastructure service provision. Ladies and gentlemen, I commend you for choosing Kiambu County for continued investment and the promotion of new concepts of housing scheme. This is ultimately aimed towards creating suitable places to live, work, and play. I acknowledge and appreciate all those who are involved in all phases of construction upon completion of this project and wish all the best as you bring life to the Alma and enhance its management. I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate the developers, the contractors, AFIC, I know them, and I know they have done a very, very good job. At least people will start now having more confidence in people who are investing in houses. Because people have really been cheated in Kiambu County. People have lost a lot of their money. And what Cytonn has done today is just to show that something transparent and good investment can be done by our people, and they can get money they can get value for their money. Because what we have actually seen, no, that is important to mention. What we have seen in Kiambu, so many people have lost their money. They invest in its housing scheme and only to find out after some times that there are no houses. I'm sure people are happy to see that Cytonn has started giving out people their houses. I'm told some of the people here are beneficiaries and investors in this scheme, and I'm sure the Cytonn is going to sort of give more confidence to future investors in Kiambu County. We have had some very funny cases za maproti kama mafuta ile maguta people investing in projects that are not there. So for me, as a governor at this time, I want to say that Cytonn, you have done us proud. Mr. Minor, I'm sure you have also done my county proud. We are proud of you as our minister. And for those who have been complaining, you can now see the type of a person we are having as our minister. And anytime you have a complaint, don't complain about the governor, complain about the minister. Because you can see, I've already taken up somebody who has the technical know-how, somebody who is well-learned, and he's ready to tackle all those issues. I don't need to disturb myself. As a governor, you don't know everything. So some of the things you don't know, but you take on board people who are experts, and that is exactly what I've done. The guys you have seen here, some of them have PhDs, and they are ready for the job, like the way Minor is doing. So for those who have been blaming me, some of the issues that you blame me about are supposed to be handled by my team, and they are experts. And for that reason, I know very, very soon Kiambu is going to realize a lot of development. There are so many projects that we are undertaking, and I'm sure very, very soon Kiambu will be completely different. Therefore, our right honorable former Prime Minister, sisi tunakukaribisha hapa, uko kwa mkono mzuri na umekuja kwa development ile imefaulu sana, na sisi tutakuwa tukikukaribisha saa ile tuko na projects ndio unatufungulia na ingine unatuanzizia. Kwa hivyo sisi tuko pamoja, ama namna gani? Ama aje watu ya Kiambu, si tuko sawa? Otherwise, Bwana PS karibu, ndio uchukue hiyo nafasi, alafu you continue and invite our chief guest for this function.
The question is there demand for those houses? So today, I met the chairman of SACCOs and cooperatives. And I was surprised when I asked them, how many of you know that in our Income Tax Act, under Section 22, there's something which is called a home ownership savings plan? None. Now, that is something is a benefit to you as a Kenyan, and no one is using it. Now, last year, it was 4,000 every month. We have doubled that in the miscellaneous bill last year to 8,000 shillings. So you can take 8,000 and deduct it from your salary and then apply the tax rate, and that is a benefit that has been conferred to you. But you know what? If you're not saving towards your home, that saving does not apply to you. We also said that one of the threats in home ownership is something which is called stamp duties, because stamp duties is 4% of the value of the house. So we said last year that if you're an aspiring homeowner and it's your first time, you will not need to pay any stamp duties anymore. Those are all benefits that people are not talking about. And lastly, we said that I don't think the challenge is not Kenyans wanting to save. It is that you are already heavily burdened and your incomes are too low. So how else can government incentivize you to save? And we came up with something which was in the Income Tax Act last year, which is called Affordable Housing Relief. Affordable Housing Relief is the most aggressive relief ever done in this country. It is 15% of your gross, subject to a maximum of 9,000. So that is an amount that you actually deduct from the tax expense, not taxable income, but from your tax expense. So ladies and gentlemen, you know, we are serious as government when we say that we want to make sure that home ownership becomes a reality. That affordable housing relief is government giving back money to you so that you can save it towards your home. So, in the coming months, we're going to go around and we're going to unveil this program. We're going to invite all of you, because I think the more and more Kenyans start to see that this thing is a reality, they are starting to join the ship. And so mine is to encourage you, go to bomayangu.go.ke, bomayangu.go.ke, and that is the platform where all the information, where the new settlements are coming up. Register today to be a homeowner. It's easy. You can do it as you sit down. It is *688 hash. *688 hash. That is the USSD that you need. And everything that you need to register to be a homeowner is in the palms of your hands. And the minute you register to become a homeowner, all those benefits stop occupying our fiscal space. They start coming to you. So ladies and gentlemen, I am not the guest of honor today, but I like taking advantage of these opportunities to speak to you. So it is my great honor and pleasure to ask all of us to be upstanding, as I invite the chief guest, the Prime Minister, Right Honorable Raila Amolo, to come and address us. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
The PS says that he's not a guest of honor and that he has taken opportunity to speak to you. But now I wonder what else is left for me to say. Because he has said virtually everything that needs to be said on this subject. But I'm very happy to be here. I've been invited by the promoters of this project. We have postponed this occasion for some times. But this is the other time, my friend, the former MP for Starehe, Honorable Maina Commander, came to my office, and then I told him that today this one is now written in stone. We will come on Thursday, the 18th of July, to come and launch this project. And that's why I'm here today. I am happy that this thing is happening here in Ruaka. You know that in my earlier incarnation, I was the Minister for Roads, Public Works and Housing. And in those days, I was in charge of roads, and also in charge of housing, and also public works. Ruaka was actually out of town completely. And that was the times when the city was experiencing a lot of traffic jams. And that's when we did the planning of highways around the city, the bypasses. And we came up with the idea of the southern bypass, the eastern bypass, the northern bypass, and then the link road. And then the Thika superhighway. Now I became a very unpopular person those days when I started telling people remove these structures you put on the road reserves. You remember I was demolishing structures. He was saying that this fellow is so destructive. He's jealous of our development. And now, you see now what is there in Thika Highway and how many insults are received to construct the Thika Highway. Now there is the link roads. Some may remember the houses are demolished along that place, and you're saying I was just destroying houses. But that link road is now under construction, partly completed. It's coming from you, so that from here, Ruaka, you would just go and branch off around the Runda turnoff. You go down towards Nyari, and then you are into Wayaki Way. And then you go across to James Gichuru. Then you are into Yaya Center. Then you are into Kibera. Then you join the southern bypass. And then you are into Mbakazi Airport from here. That was the intention. And now it is all now coming to becoming a reality. So I feel very fulfilled that it has come to pass. Now the housing in our new constitution is one of the fundamental rights in our society. It's there as the right to shelter ranks equal to the right for the right to life, the right to food, the right to shelter. They're all very fundamental rights of our people. But how did we get to where we are? Where we had a lot of shortages of housing in our society. This has to be found in the policies that were adopted by the government immediately after independence. Because during the colonial period, the colonial government tried to put up low-income housing for the people. So you'll see the estates, Kaloleni, Shaurimoyo, Mudhurwa, Kariobangi, Ziwani, Ngara, Jerusalem, and so on and so forth. But after independence, first there was the influx of people moving from the rural areas into the urban areas. The government of the day then adopted a policy of telling the people, go back to the land. That the people who have nothing to do in town, they should go back to the land. Rudi mashambani. When a song was coined, Mzee kasema rudi mashambani. People went back to the land and found nothing useful to do in the land, and quickly trooped back to the cities and towns. But because the government was not responding to this, people started to put up their own structures. That is how the slums developed in our towns. The government then began to christen them as informal settlements. How we developed the kibiras, the Kawangware, Madare, the Kangemi, the Mukuru Kwanjenga, and so on around our cities. Majengo, you find them also in Mombasa, you find them in Kisumu, and so on and so forth. So these were basically shelters put up by the people who did not have anything else to do. Informal, there's no water, there's no sewage system, no sanitation in them. So this created a crisis in our towns generally. And so when I became a minister, I decided that this thing needed to be changed. And I went around the world and I found a solution in Malaysia and in Singapore. In those countries also they had slums. And then they came up with slum upgrading programs. How they now are putting up some more modern houses and moving the people, putting up facilities in there. You create markets, you put up health center, you put up schools, and you put up workshops so that people can be employed. So at the same time, you are dealing with the issue of unemployment and also with decent housing. So when I came back, I revised the national housing policy for the first time. I took it to Parliament. I moved it, it was debated, it was approved. The day it was approved, there was a cabinet reshuffle, and the housing was removed from my docket. But I'm happy that at least I managed to do it. Later on, as a Prime Minister, I started the slum upgrading program in Kibra, which we managed to do phase 1. It's stalled, but now we have talked to the government with the permanent secretary and with the president. We are shortly going to launch the continuation of that program now under the new housing policy. So this is going to help our people so that the people can also have jobs at the same time having decent houses. Today it is estimated that the country's urban centers face a shortage of over 200,000 housing units annually. The PS has already said it. On average, we are only able to construct 50,000 new housing units every year against a demand of over 200,000. The hardest hit are the youth, students who are coming out of colleges and middle-income earners. This is the category of our citizens who are struggling to settle down as they start new jobs or look for jobs, and as they struggle to start families and push our country forward. While Nairobi's housing demand falls short of by close to 150,000 units annually, the city receives at least 500,000 people from rural homes to the city annually in search of employment opportunities. That is what Nairobi receives every year, 500,000 people coming to reside in the towns. We are certainly in a crisis when it comes to housing. Therefore, we should not be surprised that slums are sprouting everywhere and rents are forever going up. Because of supply are inadequate, urban residents spend approximately 34% of their income on rental charges. And these rents keep on rising week after week. That eats into the capacity of the most significant age group to save and invest in our economy. When nearly half of your salary goes into paying rent, you will hardly invest in business, farming, education, or anything else. The houses are both unavailable and unaffordable. As of last year, the average price of a 1 to 3 bedroom unit stood at about 14 million shillings. At the same time, a 4 to 6 bedroom property stood at 42 million shillings. Houses with prices of 3 million and below remain in acute shortage or simply don't exist, while high-end houses are in oversupply. Houses are unavailable and unaffordable, partly due to the high cost of construction. Developers incur additional infrastructure costs when constructing houses because much of the land is unserviced and land is extremely expensive. About 3 weeks ago, we were at a project with Governor of Kiambu, and he was saying that he was very happy with the developers there because before that development came, the price of land there was about 15 million shillings per acre. But now it had gone up to over 30 million. I was telling him that is how not to do it. Because the high cost of land in this country makes it very difficult to conduct development. You want to do infrastructure. You want to do a road. For example, you want to expand the highway from airport to Rironi. And they want you to pay 16 billion shillings for land compensation. And where are you going to get the money to do that road? You cannot compete with Magufuli, who is doing it for free. Land is free in Tanzania. And then you come and say how expensive development is here in this country is because of corruption. The same thing within Uganda. If you want to do bypasses around the Eldoret town, the amount of money they're demanding for land compensation for a project of about 10 kilometers is 6 point something billion shillings. The road itself is supposed to cost only 2.something billion. They will come and tell you, oh, this road is going to pass here. You must compensate me for the banana trees here. Compensate me for a beehive I put on top of the tree. Kenyans are becoming unreasonable. So we need to have a serious national conversation about the issue of compensation. Ati watu mpaka walipe kwanza kabla haijajengwa. You find that the SGR is stalled for months because people have not been compensated. And the place where the land is supposed to pass, there's no development. There's nothing on it. Just empty land. So we must change this. They come from China, they will tell you. When the government wants to do a road, they'll just come and tell you this road is going to pass from here to there. And it will be done that way. We used to have what was called Compulsory Land Acquisition Act. The government uses to acquire land for public use. Because if government is going to put up a highway, there's nothing government gets out of that. That highway is going to be used by you, by your children, by a whole community. Then why should government come to compensate? And that money is coming from who? So we need to have a serious conversation as a country about infrastructure development meant for the public use in our country. That electric line is supposed to pass through this land here. You find that some investors have to just abandon construction of power lines because of the amount of money being demanded for compensation for electricity to pass over your land, to go to assist other people elsewhere, where your children are also going to be employed. So this is an issue that we need, is a subject for another day. But I just want to tell you that today, 86% of the people of Singapore, the population, live in public housing. 9 out of 10 public housing dwellers own their own flats. That is something we can do here in Kenya if we commit to it. There's real gain in having citizens own homes, especially in multi-ethnic, multiracial, and multicultural urban centers. Homeowners enhances a citizen's commitment to his country and contribute to political and social stability. Community living in a public housing area enhances unity and a sense of common purpose among citizens. As we seek to build new houses, we must also develop and implement an aggressive estate renewal strategy to revamp the old estates. But the government cannot achieve this ambitious dream alone. To accelerate the development and access to affordable and adequate housing, we need to be open for public-private partnership. I wish to encourage the government to embrace the private sector as partners in the provision of affordable housing. The completion of phase 1 of Alma is an example of what we can achieve if we are working together as government and the private sector. The government must actively support the sector by creating the right environment for mortgage lenders and housing developers. Such support can come in the form of improving access to land, providing basic infrastructure, and improving the efficiency of mortgage registration and title transfers. We must address the affordability gap in the housing market by ensuring that we create adequate institutions to fund mortgages. You will see, I mentioned to you Singapore and even Malaysia. If somebody graduates from a college in those countries, you go and seek employment, you get employment. That letter of employment alone, and the employers other letters saying that they will deduct so much money from your salary to pay the mortgage. It's sufficient for you to go to the housing company and you get a house allocated to you. And if you go there as a bachelor or as a single lady, they will allow you to go and get a 1 or 2 bedroom house. But you are allowed, after 10 years or 15 years, to go back and get another loan in the same scheme. Because it is known that your space requirement will have increased, you may now be married, there will be children, and you will benefit from that scheme again twice. This is allowed. I'm sure that this kind of scheme can be brought also here to our country, and it will help our youth tremendously. We need to pursue policies that can encourage circles to help bridge the gap of the housing finance market. It is my hope that this example set here can be embraced and replicated elsewhere across our towns. I wish you well as you pursue this dream that is in line with our overall goals as a nation with regard to housing our people. I am very happy to see this here. You've seen a wonderful flat up there, and we hope that this housing estate here is going to basically benefit the whole of this other environment, this region here. And I see that in future, Kiambu is going to be part of Nairobi. Of course, the governor will remain. Talking about when a governor, if you are in Washington, D.C., you will be traveling, and then you are told that you see this street to the left, you are in Virginia. And this other side here, you're in Maryland. And then the other side, you see, this is now Virginia, this is Maryland. You don't see the difference. You're still in the same city, all the same. So I can see that these are going to be satellite cities around Nairobi metropolitan. Kiambu, I can see Thika, I can see, of course, Ruiru is already part of Nairobi. I can see the river, even Machakos. Even Naivasha with SGR will eventually be part of the greater Nairobi metropolis. And this will be great. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
This is where you smile the recipients. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the symbolic key handover of Alma Phase 1. And remember, the hashtag is the Alma Handover.
So, Rose, thank you. Clive, if you can just help hand over the gift. Look at the camera. Thank you very much, Honorable Charles Hika, for supporting us today. His Excellency Governor Waitito. Smile for the camera, please. Smile for the camera. Front page tomorrow, front page. Thank you. And finally, to our chief guest, Right Honorable Raila Odinga. That will be presented by our chairman, Professor Daniel Mugendi. If you could help our chairman present to Right Honorable Raila Odinga, former Prime Minister. Look into the camera, please. Thank you very, very much for gracing our occasion. We appreciate you. Thank you. We can invite our guests to go back to the podium.